Have you ever felt like there's a right choice and a wrong choice? Like you're supposed to go somewhere specific in life. Like there's a right way to do things. You ever felt like, okay, once I know I'm supposed to do this, then things will be okay. I don't know my path in life because once I choose something, then that's the right choice. But then guess what? When you choose that thing and you go down that path, you realize that it's not the right thing. So you try something else and you forge a new path and you're like, okay, this is the right path. And you go all into it and it becomes your identity. But the thing is, there's a much more curious way to do things. Right now, I'm in Japan. I'm right by Mount Fuji. This is not Fuji, by the way. Um, I've taken time off to explore, and that's the topic of today's video. Because I've battled with identity and finding my own path and understanding myself, and I would struggle with overanalyzing things and thinking that there is one right choice to make. I meant to be a YouTuber. I meant to be a student. I meant to be a corporate worker. And the anxiety would happen when I think that there is a right path to take, that there's only one path, and if I choose the wrong thing, then I'm wasting time, I'm wasting energy. But there's a better way to think about these things, because when we're exploring our own identity and ourselves, we don't need to think that there is a right choice. I've read a paper about midlife crises, which is kind of funny because I'm 26 right now, and I think what's happening right now with the younger generation is a lot of people are asking big questions a lot sooner in life, wondering what's the point. And I see a lot of this generation struggling with purpose and meaning. And we're extrinsically told what we should do, how we should live our lives. And that comes from a place of safety and security. But if we want true meaning within our own lives, then that comes from within. And so, at least for myself, I've struggled whenever it came to finding the right option, the right path. But I'm discovering that there is no right path. There's just exploration, and we can talk about that now. But man, what an amazing view. What a privilege it is to have nature and good vision and good tea. So, exploration is something to discover, something to be curious about. It's curiosity driven. And that is intrinsic drive. It comes from within. When you are genuinely curious about something, that's from within you. Now, when you're trying to find the right answer as opposed to exploration, where does that come from? So the right answer insists that there is a problem to be solved. If you think about a problem, you're trying to find the right answer to the problem. And that's where you start to tie your judgment into what you're searching for. But when you're searching from within with identity, you actually just open up curiosity rather than problem solving. Because life is not a set of problems for us to solve. It's it's an adventure to be explored. We are experiencing the human experience, and so exploration looks like trying new things and seeing how you feel with it, and not attaching judgment or identity to whatever you're exploring. It's just, I'm curious about this, so I'm going to explore it. And it doesn't have to cost money. If you're curious about clothes, you can go to a mall and just explore clothes for free. You don't have to buy them, you can explore them. If you're curious about, but you can also spend money. If you're curious about teas, you can go to a tea shop and try different teas. I just tried a hojicha tea, which is a green tea that is cooked in a porcelain pot over charcoal, and the tea leaves are oxidized, so it's not burnt, but they're brown and crispy, and it was the best tea I've ever had. This is not it, but it was so good. Like, I highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. And so I never knew I would like that until I went out of my way and did something different and tried it. And so what's fun about exploration is you can curate your own life. So now I have a close tie with tea, and that experience of me drinking it in this area of Japan is very meaningful. And so I can now share that. It's a part of my identity that I'm creating, and I can share that with other people, and it becomes, a part of me. And so that's different than thinking, I have a problem, I need to discover things that I like so I can tell other people about my identity. But it's like, that comes from a different place, a place of insecurity or a place of worry, a place of fear that other people won't find me interesting, for example. So, how does this relate to finding your own path in life? Well, I think the path of exploration is not a predictable path. You can go into a career and explore at the same time, and you may end up somewhere completely different. So, if you wanted to go into computer programming, but you also want to explore art, you might end up becoming an artist rather than a computer programmer. But you don't have to let that identity of being a programmer stop you from exploring art, for example, because in my mind, it's one or the other. At least it used to be. And so then, if I choose the artist path, I would be afraid that it's the wrong path, and I'm missing opportunities of making money, and I'm missing opportunities of starting a stable career. And exploration is not about a right or wrong path. It's just about exploring. And maybe you explore on the side with your career so you have that stability, and you also have openness to explore and live your life, because life is not all about problems to be solved. And so the main point of this video is to not tie our problems so close to us, to be able to let go of trying to fix things in our lives and just explore things and open ourselves up to discovering ourselves better, understanding ourselves better. We're not just problems to be solved. If you have anxiety, it's not just a thing to get rid of and to solve. It's something to explore and to be curious about, and to allow it to be free. And maybe you're anxious because you're not exploring. You're not doing things that you internally desire to be expressed. And so I want to leave you with, life's not a set of problems to be solved. Exploration is a great way to discover things that you may be interested in, and it may even lead you down a deeper purpose in your own life. And so, and you don't have to do anything crazy for exploration, but in my case, I have this opportunity to travel halfway across the world. And so I'm trying to discover what I'm supposed to do. And I'm trying to explore it. And it's not something that I think I'll find out like that, but I'm getting a lot of hints along the way of this trip. And so it's something that I would have never seen in my hometown, at least with the way things were going. But if you're bound by time, money, or energy, I highly recommend the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, because that book to me is a definition of exploration. And so if anything else, read that book and understand that there's a lot to explore. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. Peace.